Hey everyone, I'm Alex Fletcher, and welcome to another installment of the Esports IQ podcast series where we provide world-class insights into marketing and advertising in the world of esports, gaming, and the metaverse. This episode is centered around how to create effective context for your marketing campaigns in esports and gaming, which, if you ask me, is the most important concept marketers need to understand when speaking to gamers. And I'm really excited about this topic because it's inspired by a really cool Nike and Rocket League partnership that brings the Nike Air Zoom Mercurial, a shoe designed specifically for footballers or soccer players as they're called in the US, into Psyonix's popular Rocket League video game title in the form of snazzy branded decals or skins. Now, for those who don't know, Rocket League is a sport-based video game best described as football or soccer with cars. In it, players work with their team to advance the ball down the field and score goals by controlling vehicles instead of human avatars like you would in a game like FIFA. More importantly, Nike's campaign effectively establishes a marketing context that connects with Rocket League players and fans alike. And all non-gaming brands must grasp the importance of doing the same in order to succeed with esports and gaming fans. And why is that? Well, that's just because context is a space or a place or world where your brand is transformed into a meaningful symbol for gamers. So today we're going to explore the three elements of an effective marketing context that empowers your brand to do the same. The first element is identity value, and that's just a term for how your product or service helps a target audience express themselves within the context of gaming. And I've harped on this concept a lot, but that's only because establishing why a product or service that is unrelated to gaming should matter to gamers is probably the biggest hurdle for effective non-endemic marketing. See, unlike Nike, your company can't always depend on a shared, pre-established association with a massively popular sport like soccer. Identity value builds this association by framing your brand within the existing relationship people already have with games. The resulting anchor of meaning works the same way that roses are a symbol for romantic love between two people. In so many words, identity value answers the question, how does this brand help express my individual passion for gaming? So, as Rocket League players choose a vehicle, along with various customization options before each match, decals with the Nike Air mark across the side and the famous Nike swoosh across the hood double as more than a branded item. It becomes a self-expressive symbol of who they are as participants in the game. And enabling channels like that is a fast track to brand authenticity, but without it, your campaign is more than likely going to fizzle. Now, the second principle is fulfilling needs and wants, where brand presence should fill some gap or meet a consumer demand, which may seem like a given for meeting the needs of any market of people anywhere, but gaming is a really unique consumer context. And fortunately, electronic sports are very much like their physical counterparts, where the intense motivation to overcome competition and become the best is a shared ethos common to all games that people play as sport. That means that performance is just as important on digital playing fields as it is in the physical world. And Nike's massive brand equity as an athletic performance brand amplifies presence of his Mercurial shoe in the game Rocket League, even though the design elements don't affect in-game performance. However, things like realistic Nike Flyknit textures and Nike Air Zoom Mercurial wheels do fulfill the almost never-ending demand for aesthetically pleasing in-game customizations. And finally, while associating your brand with a popular video game may seem like a natural extension of paid media, cross-category alignment is somewhat complicated by the fact that all games take place outside of what we commonly call the real world. This dynamic rings especially true if your product is not digitally native, since in gaming, fantastical elements like cars playing soccer are the norm. In fact, there really is no norm. Each game really defines its own limits and possibilities, and that means you must creatively adjust the terms of your consumer touchpoints. Nike fully embraces this reality by transforming a popular shoe into a shoe decal, for example. But each connection is highly contextual, in that, let's say, a bottled water brand might instead choose to sponsor a custom Rocket League power-up that gives cars an actual performance boost, since that approach better aligns with product positioning as a source of revitalization for an active lifestyle. Either way, the key is to creatively reimagine the role your product can play in a digitally native context as opposed to simply in the physical world. To recap, effective marketing campaigns take place in a context that empowers your brand to authentically connect with gamers. But these contexts don't happen by accident. Instead, they entail three key principles. The first is they communicate an identity value, which is how your brand helps express a passion for gaming. Secondly, the context should meet the unique needs and desires of the gaming market. And last but not least, it should creatively embrace, not ignore cross-category differences in gaming. Thanks for joining me for another episode of the Esports IQ podcast series. I really hope this was as insightful and useful as it was fun putting together. Take care and goodbye.